Hey everybody, so it is July 2nd, so I'm here to do my June wrap-up and possibly film my July TBR. Not too sure if I'll get to that today, but I do have time to do my wrap-up, so let's go on with what I read. I read a total of 11 books. Granted, 5 of those were manga, so I didn't get as much reading of like actual novels that I wanted to get read. I mean, manga, I don't know. Sometimes I like to count it, sometimes I don't, because it's almost all pictures you're looking at, and it takes literally like an hour to read one of these. But we're just going to count it this time because I did have a really slow month. I went through sort of a reading slump in the first 2 weeks. I mostly only read the manga in the first 2 weeks of June, and then the 6 books were almost all towards the end of the month, with the exception of maybe one of those. As always, I'm going to go in order of when I read them and tell you what I rated them, so let's get on. The first books I read are the first 5 volumes of Girl Got Game by Shizuru Seino, and that is Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4, and Volume 5. There are 9 volumes to that series, so I only have 4 more left to go. I will probably read them for July. Really good contemporary romance involving basketball. But the main focus is not basketball, so it's really good if you like manga and you like romance. Go read that one. Then the first novel I picked up was Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. This was the only book that I pulled from my TBR jar that I actually read for the month. Yeah, I was really bad with that this time. I rated this book 5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it, and I cannot wait to pick up the sequel. I was expecting a little bit more action. It had a lot of focus on romance in this book. For a story about a deadly assassin, I was expecting a little bit more, but regardless, I still loved the storyline, and that's why I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It's because it was still good to me, but in a different way. Like, I was expecting it to be good in an adventure way, and it was really good in an adventure romancy way. So then I picked up Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo. 5 out of 5 stars for this. Action-packed, non-stop, the fastest-paced book I've read in a while. Right from like the first 30 pages, there's a major battle scene, and then it just goes on from there, and the main character is thrust into a situation she doesn't understand at first. But I do own the sequel, Siege and Storm, which I will probably get to this month. We'll see. I haven't picked my TBR for July yet, although I have started reading some books, but that's not one of them yet. But yeah, 5 out of 5 stars. Then I wanted to pick something that was lighter to read, something a little bit easier, something that would be like really quick, just so I could get some more books read this month. So I decided to pick up a middle grade, and that one is The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. This is book 1 in the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series. Loved this book. You guys know how much I loved this book from my rant about the movie. 5 out of 5 stars, obviously. Definitely nothing like what I was assuming it would be like. And it was just amazing. I am loving this series right now. And because I loved that one so much, I went ahead and read The Sea of Monsters by Rick Riordan, and this is book 2 in the series. It was so amazing, just as good. 5 out of 5 stars. I'm really worried for the movie, as I've said in my little rant video, because I can already see differences just from watching the trailer. Although I'm glad that they changed the color of Annabeth's hair, because that was just going to annoy me if they didn't. Then the next book that I managed to finish was Onyx by Jennifer L. Armentrout. The reason I didn't get to this till towards the end of June is because the other book was a library book, and I did not manage to finish reading it by the time I had to return it. So what I ended up doing was purchasing it. Gave this 4 out of 5 stars. It was really good. I did not enjoy it as much as book 2, but it was still really good. So then I saved the best book for last. You guys, I have no words to describe how amazing this book is, and that book is The Bronze Horseman by Paulina Simons. I don't even know how to describe my feelings towards this. All the feels. So many feels. This book is 810 pages. The font is super tiny, so it took me literally all month to read this. I started it in the beginning of the month and finished it exactly on June 30th at like 11:30 at night. I have the other 2 books, and I will definitely be reading the second book in July. The only reason I haven't picked up the second one is because I needed a break away from my feelings towards this book Alright, let me just say, compare this to, I cried twice when I was reading this book, and I didn't even cry at all for The Fault in Our Stars. Like, I'm not a crier. I do not cry in books unless I'm really, really, really invested in the characters. Like, I cried only in book 7 for the Harry Potter series when all of my wonderful characters that I grew up with dies in the last book. And so that's the only one that I thought I would ever cry for. And all the other emotional books I didn't cry for, even though it was sad. But this book was so emotional in many ways. Not just sad, it was like when it would be during one of the happy times, my heart literally hurt. Like, the feelings, the feels. Yeah. Read this book. Historical fiction romance. Didn't think that I would be into that kind of book, but this one definitely is the exception. Read it. Read it, read it, read it. 10 out of 5 stars. I give this 10 out of 5 stars. This book is amazing. The Bronze Horseman by Paulina Simons. Amazing. Those are all the books that I read in the month of June. Stay tuned for my July TBR, possibly this same day later on, not sure. What did you all read in the month of June? What are you guys planning on reading in July? Let me know in the comments down below, and I will talk to you guys later.